goddamn shame. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the OGL number 47, I believe. I'm Dr. Feelgood. Let me go ahead and let my panel of bastards introduce themselves, starting with Andre, if you are there.
I'm here. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Stuff. This is Andre, Full Archon Gaming. Excited about tonight's podcast. Definitely ready to get into it. Let's go.
All right. Next up, we got Kenoshi.
This is Kanashi Abamanito here to say that Review Tech USA has been sipping on some mimosas, some orange juice with some Jägermeister mixed in. So
that sounds disgusting.
It probably is disgusting. But
like Jägermeister should never be mixed with anything. Ugh. Ugh, especially not something fruity like orange juice. Ugh.
The next up is Perry.
He has this.
What up? This is Perry Fan, random citizen of the internet. Let's do it. I don't have anything clever to say right now.
Right. But your meat looks so happy. I mean, he's with the babe.
Yes.
He's snug. He's like, yeah. Once this podcast is over, me and the babe are going someplace and having fun, and you're not invited.
No, I made it more to be more like the joke on that. Have you ever seen that meme of that one guy at the Magic card tournament?
No.
Where he took a picture of himself, like kneeling down, and behind him was just like guys with like their butt cracks hanging out over chairs, and it's just him over again, like with the serious face and crying over all these. It's funny. It's pretty fun, but that's what I was going for, not smug, because so much crack exposed. Say no to crack, Akage. I'll help you.
Cool.
And Quan.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? It's Quan Manchu. How's everybody doing?
What's up?
I'm pretty good, man.
Pretty good. Hey, Quan, have you played Crosscode yet?
No, I haven't had a chance to play Crosscode, but I keep an eye on it. I'm waiting for them to, basically release all the updates that they had planned on doing with the powers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when the power update comes out, then I'm going to give it a shot.
I mean, the game feels, it's an early access game, but it feels more complete than a lot of these other games that are coming out.
Well, I've noticed that about some, some of these like indies, they really put a lot of care into their work. And I'm gonna put it to you like this: I even consider CD Projekt Red not a major publisher because they're only really known for one game, and that's The Witcher. So to me, they're like an indie, and look what they did with their DLC.
Well, yeah, I'm probably the only one who kind of cares about this, but I thought it was interesting that the game was built using HTML5.
Cool. Yeah. I mean that's a cool engine.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and jump into it.
I didn't introduce myself.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is Mr. Red Fox. I'm here to help bust some of this bullshit because it needs to get busted just a little bit.
All right. Well, we'll jump into it, and just so the viewers can know, you may see others, pop in here, no matter how long. But I have other topics, but we're going to go ahead and tackle this because I'm getting sick of it. But as you can see from the title, fuck specs. I'm tired of hearing about it. Recently, Shadow Fox, today I saw he shared a video of Review Tech USA, and his thing was, he said he's concerned about the leaked specs of the Switch, and of course it's a power argument. He's concerned that developers won't be able to utilize it or make great games, whatever shit. I only watched like half the video, and I hadn't even watched that.
Can I jump in on this?
Go ahead.
Look, this is bullshit. Okay, we when the Wii U launched, we heard this. When the Wii launched, we heard this, and now we're hearing it with the Switch yet again. I don't know if it's powerful enough. I'm just so concerned that. Look, listen. Okay, we're getting like I'd say 70% of the games that are hitting the PS4 and the Xbox One are underutilizing the specs of those systems. The code is not optimized. That's why you have bugs and glitches. Okay. So clearly, if games now are buggier than they were during the 7th gen, and those games are buggier than games that were in the 6th gen, then despite the increase in specs, that's not really helping the gameplay do anything, is it?
Okay, we know this. We definitely know this. But here's the reason I brought this up, and this is pretty much my one and all. I'm not gonna discuss this shit again, pretty much. But all these people, USA's, sometimes the Shokios, and the next gen 720s, and whoever else out there, OJ, whoever you guys are, everyone that talks about the power bullshit. You may be offended by this, and I don't care, but here goes. None of you motherfuckers have a background in coding. None of you even have a degree in coding. None of you, as far as I can tell, have never worked for a AAA publisher. You haven't even worked for an indie. None of you have even programmed a Snake or Hangman game for a TI calculator.
Oh wow.
So, since none of you have done this, how do you feel that you're within your right to say that based on the specs listed on a piece of paper, you know what type of games a console can output? You know what type of experiences it can offer. You know that developers.
Dr. Figure, hold on a second. Yo, Doc, give me a moment. I gotta interject here. You want to put it simple? They suffer from the Wizard of Oz complex. You know what I mean by that? Do you remember when Dorothy went with her crew over there to see the wizard? When they finally got there, they looked behind the curtain, and all of a sudden everybody was like, "This is bullshit. This was a lie all the whole time." Or I know how things work now. You know, the audience was like, "Oh man, he's not mystical at all. He's a regular dude." Once they saw the man behind the curtain, everything suddenly became BS.
But see, what gets to me is that, look, I will understand. I would be somewhat, at least somewhat understanding if they had some type of background. And no, I don't mean you can put together and build your own PC background. Okay, I don't mean
anybody
could
do
look
that
up on YouTube. It's like
I could get a 7-year-old to do that. So yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the only thing I've done is replace his power supply and put in a GPU, and that's pretty easy. At least that's pretty easy. So I don't know why people think, oh, I build a PC, so I'm a PC expert now. But it's not hard.
Like, yeah, and see, that shit that gets me. But okay, we know Rich builds his own PCs. We know this. He talks about this shit. He talks about PC gaming. He's one of the people that also talks about PC being, you know, completely superior to console gaming. I don't give a shit, but we've all heard it before. But what gets to me, like I say, they talk about power and specs. They go by what someone tells them on a website, whether it be IGN, GameSpot, what someone leaks to them. Okay, so you know what it is on paper, but not having any background on, you know, in said area or industry, how do you know what type of games that could yield? Because I can tell you right now, I'm pretty sure people laughed at the Game Boy, but it offers some great experiences. I'm pretty sure people laughed at the DS, especially compared to the PSP. Great experiences. People laugh at the Wii. Still, some of the best and top selling games of all time, not the generation, all time, are on the Wii. It's funny how people can say, you know, well, developers won't be able to, you know, to utilize and do what they want to do. No, you can do what the hell you want to do if you learn how to optimize something. But you people continuously think that it doesn't have the power. All right, then. I have a question for you guys. Since you love your damn specs, you love to push your goddamn specs. I have a question for you. Tell me how many shaders right now in your favorite game. Let's say Battlefield 1. I want you to tell me how many shaders, how much RAM, how much memory, how much color depth takes place. How many titty flops during a reload animation? Tell me right now, since you know specs, and you know specs because you own a PC or PS4, Xbox One, you do, you know, native 4K gaming, even though it's not native. But I want you to tell me right now, the reload animation, how many processes, how many titty flops? Tell me all this shit for just the reload animation in Battlefield 1. I'll wait.
7.
I just don't get it. This whole entire thing about specs. You know, because let me tell you something. I own a computer and I always chase the middle ground, so that I don't have to spend a lot of money on a graphics card. You know what I'm saying? So long as I can get the middle to the higher settings, I'm good. I'm not out there chasing the dragon, as it were, spending close to $1,000, if not $1,000, on a graphics card. Because to me, that's a waste. Because at the end of the day, it's just doing something for the eyes and not the mind. I'm there to play a game, not just look at it.
Exactly.
That's the thing, and you're not actually getting all that much out of your graphics card if you're paying
Exactly.
thousands of dollars for it, because that extra thousands of dollars would go to things like
the RAM, the power supply,
Yep.
The processor, so you don't bottleneck.
Not to mention that a lot of these guys aren't doing like heavy graphic design or video editing and stuff like that. So why do you need that much power?
Exactly.
Because it's a dick measuring contest. They want to talk about it. It sounds cool, but they don't know what it means. It's like someone talking about it's like someone saying how many cylinders their vehicle has. But
actually, it's more juvenile than that. It's like the my dad can beat up your dad contest.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's there's more to it than just raw specs, and people don't seem to understand that. It's not just, oh man, this thing has high specs, so doesn't mean anything unless there's optimization. I know that's a dirty word nowadays because people don't like talking about it, but.
And here's another thing. Who's to say that you necessarily need to have a port of one thing going to the Switch anyway? Because remember back in the day, there were games on the Genesis and the Super Nintendo that had the same name, but had totally different layouts and graphics, etc. and whatnot.
Yeah, I remember one of them in particular. It was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters. They were completely different games.
Exactly.
But
like I said, people just don't get it.
Here's the thing. I wrote about this probably a couple of weeks ago, and it continues to hold true. But the thing is, it's nothing new. It was, in fact, the post that I wrote about where I referenced Satoru Iwata's keynote address from Game Developers Conference in 2005. He talked about it then. He talked about it then, and we're in the middle of what he was predicting, if you will, at the time. Because basically what happens is, you have these people that are chasing specs, they're chasing power, right? The big word, power, quote, power. And, what it boils down to is they're chasing graphical fidelity. It's not about power so much, it's about graphical fidelity. But the thing is, once you get to a certain point, run out of things to chase,
diminishing returns, my friend.
Exactly. You run into a place where, okay, we're chasing these higher specs in order to get the best graphics, but the graphics on the 1080 aren't very much different than 4K. And by the way, most people don't even have 4K TVs, so they can't see the difference anyway. And
you know what the sad thing is about all of this is that it's also, these developers, and the lady who was the head writer for Uncharted said this, AAA game development it's the snake eating its own tail. It's destroying itself. Because you have to spend more money to make the graphics look better, to have better technology to make everything look better. But you're making your budget spiral out of control. It's the reason why, back in the day, if a game sold over 1 million, that was a hit. Right now, a game can sell 3 million and still be considered a failure.
Right, sell 3 million
like in the case of the reboot of Tomb Raider.
Yep,
Idols considered that a meh. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. As far as like money.
I remember the highest selling game. First party game on the SNES was Donkey Kong Country. That sold 9 million units. Okay, 9 million. Now, back in the day, that was a lot of money. Okay, for a $60, $70 game, depending on where you were. Okay, that was a lot of money, and that was considered a success if it broke over 1 million. But it sold 9 million. That's damn. But now, the way gaming is, and cartridges were more expensive to make back then than a CD is, DVD or Blu-ray, whatever they use now. So, if you can't make your money back now, selling 3 million, look, it's not the technology. It's your budget is too high. What you consider important to make a game is too damn expensive. Okay, but don't say that because they might get mad. They don't like to hear that.
the thing is, the thing is about the whole graphics argument. It's not that we're entering a time of diminishing returns. It's that we're entering a time of, well, this stuff's getting too expensive. Because you look at the Blizzard intro scenes, their big CGI scenes. You know, that's probably what most people really want in gaming right now. Is that or those CGI cutscenes.
Oh God, I prefer in-game cutscenes that actually use the character models from the game because then it doesn't break the immersion.
No, I'm saying what I'm trying to say is the CGI cutscenes being the end game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
no, but sometimes when they do CGI cutscenes, they amp it up and it just doesn't really match the gameplay. And to me, that's kind of meh.
Yeah, and here's
you fading out, Andre.
A lot of times that's you very do play the game. Oh, sorry about that. That's basically what you're looking at when you have people that go to or they watch the trailers or whatever the case may be for E3 and Sony and Microsoft. They put out these big production type trailers. They actually expect the games to be that. They truly do, and that's why it's okay when they go and spend $60 or more on a game that's only $5, 5 hours of gameplay, because they get to watch the movie and they feel like they've actually played the game at that CGI level when it's not the case. It's not the case at all, and that's the trap that people fall into, because Nintendo will put out gameplay video as a trailer, and all of a sudden that's a problem. Oh, see, look at that kitty game. No, it's actually the game, right? It's actually the game, and it's going to look better than that when they actually launch it, instead of the CGI down to a pixelated mess that they put out that's only 5 hours long. That's a problem.
Check it. I could give you a prime example of that. Who remembers Dead Island's first trailer?
Oh yes, you mean that trailer that everyone was like, "Oh man,
it was going rewind."
Awesome.
It looked awesome. Now I'm not knocking the game because I own it. I like it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? It didn't go on with high expectations. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, these trailers nowadays are just trying to sell you the game. They're not trying to represent the game. There's a big difference.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. There's a big difference between the two, and that's what people need to keep in mind. These people are not your buddies. They're going to sit up here and do what they can to sell stuff to you.
But you know what?
You know what I'm saying?
There's one game out there that is famous for this shit, and people don't want to admit it. Even the fans don't want to admit it, but we all know it's true. The one game that sold itself on CGI cutscenes is Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I like the game. Don't get me wrong. I like the game. But that game's whole commercial and marketing, it sold itself purely on the cutscenes, nothing else.
Yep.
That was like the whole reason it couldn't fit on the N64 because of the cutscenes.
Well, that's the lie that they said. That's the lie that they said.
But the irony, though, is remember that Resident Evil 2 got on there using compression, and it was 2 discs. But, whatever.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm getting tired. It's getting really friggin' old of people always saying, "Wow, the specs." Because I mean, let's keep it real. What have specs done for the other two consoles?
Nothing.
But see, more than everybody, let's be honest here. Now we know gamers buy consoles, PCs, consoles, whatever the case may be. But ever since the Wii got involved, we have a lot more casual people out there. I won't say casual game, but we have a lot more people that are not necessarily core gamers that
they
now
are casual.
have interest in gaming.
They're casual.
They're social. They're not casual. They're social.
But check this out: the average Joe knows shit about specs. And then I've heard someone make a video and this. I love Boogie. I love Boogie 2088. I respect him. I still sub to him. But he made a video recently saying, well, Nintendo, you didn't tell us about the specs. People don't buy anything before knowing the specs. Bullshit.
That's bull. That's stupid.
Dude, 9 out of 10 people buy cars, buy speakers for their cars. They buy electronics without knowing the specs. You need to tell me all 50 plus million of the PS4 sold, people went into it knowing they had 8 gigs of RAM?
Nope.
They bought it because it was popular and because their friends have it and they were told to buy it and it was a big ass marketing push. They didn't know the goddamn specs. They didn't care. That's why they buy a PS4 and they buy the one popular game everybody has, whether it be Call of Duty, Uncharted, or a damn Battlefield, and that's it. And they spend time watching Netflix. They don't know specs.
If people didn't, if people bought things for specs, the cheap laptop business should be out of business. Like,
No,
I'm sure
again,
They don't know the specs of the Galaxy. All they know is it got an edge display on it, and it's popular. They don't know how many gigs of RAM are in there. They don't actually know the exact size of the screen. They don't know the processor.
Let me say this then. If that's the truth, then my video what I did about Gamers Don't Listen, where I basically just showed common people who didn't even know how to buy water.
Exactly.
If you can't buy water, then what the hell you think you're gonna do with specs?
But when he said that, I was like, dude. And me, I have a passion for electronics. I have a passion for home theater. Oh, and anyone at home theater knows this. Bose never lists their wattage for their home theater systems. They never list it. They want you to buy it based on quality, and of course, it looks good. Now, you mean to tell me that I'm a person, I love home theater, so I like to know my wattage. That's why I typically don't buy Bose speakers, because I don't know the wattage. They never tell you. But
they're
I
all like,
look at specs.
wattage you talking about?
It's like, I know people that say, oh, yeah, man, I went and bought myself, a kicker speaker, subwoofer for my car. I'm like, how many RMS watts is that? What's that? Well, all I know, man, my shit can put out 1,000 watts. It's like, but that's peak wattage. You're not putting it out consistently. They don't know that. They go by what's on the cue card, but they don't know what it means. No one knows what it means. See, no one really knows in a laptop what i7 means. They just know, this is an Intel laptop.
Not to mention that watts in the grand scheme of things don't matter anyway. It's how those watts are used in the device. For example, if you have something and it's high watts but really inefficient, you're wasting energy. You just waste it. I got a bomb sound system. Yeah, but I mean, you could have gotten something more economical, cheaper, that gives you the same quality and uses less juice. What are you, stupid? But it's got watts. Whatever.
You know what it reminds me of?
Hold
on. You ever seen that movie Idiocracy?
Yes, one of my favorites.
Okay,
love it.
Yo, it got electrolytes.
Yeah.
Dude.
Electrolytes.
No, but here's the thing though. What Doc's saying is the same thing with gaming. Like what Doc's saying is like, okay, when you buy the watts for speakers and stuff, like if you know about it, then you get peak amperage. That's what's on the system, of course. But you also need to know the channels so you can know that it will give you the like if it's an amp or something like that you can get across, consistently. Just like with gaming, the specs when it comes to like power and but the thing that's funny is the thing that people need to worry about when you're developing a game. And these from developers I'm talking to, even at the school level at my sister's school, you got the best thing to do is figure out how to allocate the memory. That's what makes the game more easier to put more stuff in, to compute easier, whatever. But everybody always thinks it's just more power. It's not that.
Oh, and before we go any further, I'd like to go ahead and introduce the other people in here. Shadow Fox, you just jumped in.
Good evening.
And Sprite, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. All right, but as I say, and Shadow Fox, you can go ahead and comment on it because, like I said, when you shared that video and I watched like 2-3 minutes of it, I was just done. I was done at that point. These people don't even have a background in coding for even a mobile device.
What video was that?
The one for you take USA.
Oh,
about him being concerned about the Switch's power because of the leaked specs. It's like
it's a clickbait video. Yeah, he knows that.
I mean, I know it's a clickbait video.
He might not be a developer, but he thinks the PS4 Pro might have development problems. If you've seen his video on the PS4 Pro, like he starts out by going, "I may not be a game developer, but there's going to be."
I remember that video. That's part of That's one of the things I use into one of my videos. I'm gonna use in the future. Like, yeah, he said, I'm not a game designer, I'm a game developer, so
Game
I don't
designer.
understand. I was like, okay, exactly. So you should not really be talking about something that's really like that. You're going on what you hear other people's regurgitating. But again, as Shadow when Shadow passed the video around, it was just clickbait just to get his stuff because that's what it is.
But it just seems like, dude, none of these people have a background except for, as I know, you, Liger, you have a background. Shadow has a background, and a couple of the people. Luzzy don't count. C plus don't count. I'm going to say it again. It don't count.
No, it's okay. He's gonna show me his certification number for what he's doing. Now that he finally knows that he wanted to pretend that his name is tied to it, and therefore I can see it. No, you could blur all that out and just put the number there, and then I could go to whatever the org is, and then see if your certifications are accurate. Because that's what true certifications mean. That the whole point is anybody can take that number, put it in. You don't have to worry about getting my personal information, but you can see what I'm capable of doing.
Well, anyway, I wouldn't mind, showing you Shadow. I think I showed you in the past. A+ and Network Plus is the most I got. You know what I'm saying? So that's the hardware. That's hardware networking.
Oh yeah, I'm CompTIA down, and a bunch of other organizations, EC Council and SANS, and
what's the highest qualification that you can get?
They really don't stop because you end up going you go higher the more that you do different things, and it depends on
and it depends on what you're doing. Yeah,
you could be doing virtualization, networking. You could be doing
network security.
There are certifications for hacking, believe it or not, ethical and non-ethical. You could be a there are certifications for programming now. There are certifications for Photoshop, believe it or not, stuff like that. So anything.
What about things? I know that technology changes. I use HTML5, and they're always updating it. They're all, every year the W3.
They have to because it's so hackable.
Yeah, and there's web stuff too. There's SharePoint, ASP.NET. There's HTML, HTML5. There's stuff for that.
Yeah. You basically like for AutoCAD, you got web framing because you web and wireframing. Like I use with 3D for AutoCAD. That's also certification too because AutoCAD also is in a lot of games and a lot of 3D programs that a lot of people didn't know about.
Pretty much. Pretty much
to
everything that you do with a computer is certified by either SANS, Microsoft, Apple, CompTIA, EC Council.
Autodesk.
Obviously not a random ass Japanese only programming language that has never made it to America. Yeah, somehow you'll have a hard time getting a certification in that.
Oh, Lord.
Which is why he won't answer. So
why you got to put that job, man?
Like I said, none of these people have done shit. And like I said, I will be somewhat understanding if you have some kind of technical background. I don't, so I really can't judge you and say you don't. But I will say this.
Hey,
if you have not programmed shit, if you have not coded a game, if you have not worked for an indie or AAA publisher, whatever the case may be, for a home console, even a PC game, I need you to shut the hell up.
I tell you what, stump me. Somebody feed me. Give me a complaint that's common that everybody keeps talking about. Just feed me. Just ask me anything. Well, what about this rumor? Or what about this rumor? Or what about the Wii U not being able to do? I've yet to find any concrete evidence that suggests that there is an effect that Wii U can't do that Xbox One and PS4 can. There's not one thing that I've seen other than the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4, and the Xbox One having gigabit Ethernet that I've seen where their bandwidth is more capable or their quote-unquote online capabilities are stronger.
Can we cut through the bullshit? Look, it's not about the specs. This is just another bludgeoning tool that these people like to use to beat down to beat down this fucking company. Whatever they want, just another excuse. Well, it's not powerful enough. Look, what games are being made that utilize this hardware so well?
None
on these consoles that make you say, "Wow, that was worth it." Because I'm gonna tell you right now, the little so-called shitty underpowered specs on the Switch. When I saw Mario Odyssey, I was like, Man, that looks awesome. When I saw Breath of the Wild on the Wii U and the Switch, I was like, man, that looks awesome. Nothing is really made me feel, wow.
Red Fox, we can all say with conscious agreement, right, that there is no console on the market or a console that will be on the market in the foreseeable future that will significantly overpower a gaming PC, right? Can we say that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Don't we still have PC games with invisible walls?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so what are we doing with all this power?
Not a damn thing. Let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. I knew all this spec shit was bullshit. I mean, I've known it was bullshit for years. But when I played Xenoblade Chronicles X and I saw that it had a bigger gaming world than Assassin's Creed, Fallout, Skyrim, and The Witcher combined, I was like, wow, they did all of that with that so-called underpowered, underspec'd hardware. Oh, okay.
Because the programs were actually somebody actually let them program.
Yeah,
but then
basically.
we have games where you're fucking. I've done this in Skyrim. You walk and you walk and you walk, and unless you mod it or extend the script, you hit an invisible wall. It's like, oh, you can't go any further. That's it.
Yeah, like people always, oh my god, this console got 8 gigs of RAM. I guess people don't realize the maximum that PS4 can do is 5 gigs for games. The others go towards the OS.
And just like, okay, one of the comments Rich mentioned in this video, he's like, we found out from the leak specs that it has 4 cores, but only 3 are available to developers because it's using 1 core for the operating system, and that has me kind of concerned. It's like,
concerned about what?
Exactly.
I'm thinking like, okay, then. So
there are games on PC that only use 2 threads.
And he even said that none of these are multi-threaded. I said, dude, I don't even think it matters because I played some great games on the Wii U. I played some great games on the Wii, the GameCube, 3DS, DS, Super Nintendo, and let me tell you, yes, even when those games were out, they were never the best looking games on the market. They were never that.
Nope.
Damn well. I didn't care. Like when I bought my
here's the
Genesis,
other thing too.
I didn't say, man, I gotta have a blast processor. Like that comes first.
Here's the other thing too. So you were talking about CPU, right? Well, most Nintendo consoles have a dedicated DSP for sound. There's one. That's one CPU thread you don't need. They also have one for memory management. That's one CPU thread you don't need. These other platforms that are quote unquote built like PCs, all those threads are usually for stuff like that. Auxiliary shit that's running in the background while the game is usually running with 1 or 2 threads. So
is that why the GameCube had Dolby Digital?
Well, they came up with their own way. It was initially analog stereo. So what they did was Factor 5 wrote their own codec. Since there was so much auxiliary memory left on the system that was hardly used by any other companies, they used it. And they're like, well, it's sitting here, so we could just go ahead and write whatever. And they wrote it directly to that bus. And, that bus was slow, but it was more than enough bandwidth for sound. So it was like 9 megabits per second or something.
And I have a fact thing I want to check because I heard this, but I'm not sure if I'm accurate in saying it. But then Black Ops 2 on the Wii U run just on 1 core?
That's what I read before. I read it on it was on NeoGAF a while ago. The person that came on there and posted it, I don't know if I can't find the post anymore, but they posted it there. It was one of those Reddit posts. They screenshot a Reddit post, and somebody said, they were talking about their experience of working with the Wii U, talking about the system and everything, and how they got it to work on both screens at the same time, and they wish that more people talked about it. And one of the first thing they said was, we didn't know about the system having all cores unlocked until after the system had released. And that's something that I like. A couple of developers had mentioned that too. Like the tools hadn't gotten updated until after the console came out. So there was a lot of stuff they didn't know. Like people were writing shaders for the sound chip that was already there. They didn't even need to write a thread for that, but they were doing it, and they didn't need to. So that was a waste of memory and a waste of CPU threading at that point, or an entire CPU core dedicated to sound.
And let's add on to that when Treyarch worked with I forgot the names of the company because I don't trying to get some food, but of the designers, when they worked also on the Wii and the Wii U, when they work on their games, they also praised not only just like what Shadow said, but also the main thing they praised was the freaking controllers. They say this is the best thing that we ever designed a game for when it comes to making the Black Ops game.
Yep. I just don't. I haven't seen like somebody tried to say that. I was talking to somebody today, and they were like, "Well, everybody knows that Nintendo sucks when it comes to online," and I'm like, "How exactly?" And he said, "Well, that online sucks. What about it sucks?" It's like, well, it's just not as good as PlayStation and Xbox. I'm like,
I would never say PlayStation. I would never say PlayStation.
When was Nintendo Network down because it got hacked by Anonymous?
But see, first of all, they're speaking from a perspective of population. I will admit, it's not as populated as PC. No. Definitely not Xbox
Live.
But
that means there's less.
But that doesn't mean the service sucks.
Exactly.
First of all, I'm tired of this myth. Well, Nintendo's online sucks. They need to get with the times. Well, okay. First of all,
they need to get with the times with superior wireless capability. Versus the other two.
Let me put it this way. First of all, Nintendo had a modem on the fucking NES. Okay, and they had Satellaview on the SNES, the Super Famicom in Japan. Okay. That was the fucking wireless of its time, okay, first of all, okay? So, really, when people say, oh, you need to get with the times, motherfucker, how many times have I said this? There's very little things that Sony and Microsoft have done that Nintendo didn't look at, try, and say, technology's not quite there yet for us. We'll get to it later.
Yeah, you know what Roger Freeze and me used to come out and says, all of our detractors have said get with the times. You just needs to go out and say we are the times and just drop
basically they need to get more stay in the times to do it and say we are the times.
Everybody moves when they move. Has nobody noticed that?
Yeah, exactly. And
I've noticed it, but of course other people are the ones that need to know.
Did you notice that the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 were rushed to market in 2013?
Yeah.
They had nothing ready.
And I guarantee you,
especially no games ready.
I guarantee you, if the Switch comes out and it's the hit that I think it's gonna be, I guarantee you, the Scorpio is gonna be like, well, we can do this with glass. You can do. He's like, shut the fuck up, Phil.
After all the positive reaction that happened, you saw what Microsoft tried to do. That's like, oh, well, here's our invite to E3. Here's our schedule for E3. Yeah, with a big old picture of the Scorpio in the background. Like, okay, like nobody's really caring until you show something.
Let me put it this way: after all the fucked up shit Microsoft's been doing lately, the only thing I'll tell to Phil Spencer is shut the fuck up, sit down, and be quiet.
My problem is I think Sony screwed them because they set a precedent that Microsoft was following. And that's not going to take away the thunder that Nintendo has, because Nintendo's coming to E3 with games. The Scorpio is going to be announced to say you can play Xbox One games.
Here's what Microsoft needs to do in order to get their thunder back. Okay, they need to take a page out of Sony's book. They need to go and find Peter Molyneux and get him out there and say, guys, I'm doing a Kickstarter in order to do Fable 4.
Oh, you horrible.
To be honest, this is what needs to happen. Microsoft needs to show up, not say anything, not talk about anything business, and literally just say, and here's the new trailer for Halo 6. Here's Scalebound. Y'all thought it was canceled. Here it is for Xbox Scorpio. Here is.
Well, we know that ain't happening.
No,
but you get what I'm saying? That's what needs to happen. Bayonetta 3 is exclusive to the Xbox Scorpio.
Yeah.
Nope. That ain't gonna happen.
But that's what needs to happen, though.
It might need to happen, but it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, but that's what they should do. Them not announcing exclusives for their hardware is going to be a problem.
Well, they do have exclusives, except they're exclusive to Windows 10.
Aren't they going to try and get parity with PC? So technically, there will never be.
Hold on. I forgot to mention this, but I read an article yesterday that stated that Sony is going to discontinue PlayStation Now for the PS3.
Yep, and Vita.
Everything except the 4 and something else.
And PC.
And PC, yeah. It's 3 Vita and their PlayStation TV.
That's dedicated servers that they don't have to run anymore for the most part for those clients.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So they can shut down those colos and save some money.
Yep. and believe me,
something that they
all the money they can do. They can.
I
But
mean,
see,
So
people
that's
don't
what
understand because people always want to say
it's so they can
Nintendo
close.
is doomed. But Sony has sold off Bio. Smartphone's not doing good. PS Now just launched
I
what
forgot
a
about
year and a
smartphones.
half ago, and then now they're about to close it off for all but 2 devices.
if they market that well enough, it's actually a good idea. To be honest with you, I wish somebody would chase them and so they could both compete to make a better product. Because I'm so done with TV right now. I'm so done. I wish them or Apple or somebody comes out with something that just says plug this in, plug it to the internet, kiss your antenna goodbye, kiss your cable goodbye, throw the dishes away.
You mean, you know what? I wish that was true, but they already kind of have that. It's a smart TV. But the thing is like there's a lot of bullshit associated.
Yeah,
with it.
and then you got a piece, and there's a la carte crap, and I don't want a la carte crap. I want to pay one thing a month, pick what I want to watch, one fee a month to watch everything, all the TV shows that I want to watch.
You would never get ABC, NBC, and Fox to give you all that.
Yeah.
Their programming that way.
They
Well,
not
you know
getting in
what?
bed with them unless they pay a big
network-
premium because the cable companies pay a big premium to them in their pockets behind closed doors.
Yep.
Yeah, those networks are struggling too. They're struggling with programming. They're struggling with with viewership. I mean, they can't maintain.
Have y'all noticed? Have y'all noticed how many carriers like between Comcast, Cox, and DirecTV? How each local municipality is constantly going to war with them, and they're like, oh well, you need to if you need to call DirecTV and see if you want to keep this channel because we're gonna
want to keep your first news.
Yeah. They keep trying to charge them, and the TV companies are like, no, like you need to pay us.
Well, that brings up something else I want to talk about too. This whole 4K bullshit.
Oh God.
Okay, let's talk about the specs. Let's go. Let's go.
What are you? What?
Here's why I bring it up. Okay,
We
watched a video of someone, and now this guy, nothing against him. I subscribe to his channel, good shit. Not gonna mention his name because of that, but you may have seen the video. This dude said it took him basically about 2 or 3 days and $1,300 to get his PS4 Pro working properly on his brand new Vizio TV.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But, okay.
And I'm thinking to myself like, so let me get this straight. You had to buy a different cable. You had to buy a new, like I think a new not a splitter. You had to buy a new splitter. You had to buy a new
splitters,
switch.
yeah.
You had to buy a new switch to use. And he went through all that shit, days and all that money to get a 4K signal. And I'm thinking like, it's not worth it.
Wait.
Getting 4K gaming.
Hold on, you forgot one thing. Does that TV have HDR?
Of course not.
No, it doesn't.
But what gets to me is like you did all this, and he said he bought this TV because it's the only TV on the market that has an HDMI slot that has a 1 millisecond, delay, and it's good for fighting games. I said, so you did all this for a console that doesn't even really have that many fighting games to begin with, and the one that it does have is shitty.
That's not really worth it.
But he stated he spent over $1,300. You include the PSVR, the PS4 Pro, and all the equipment he did to get this shit working.
Shit, he could have just gotten a gaming PC, a good one, for $1,300. That was just stupid. I'm sorry.
And even then, you're only talking like 25 frames per second in 4K on one screen because it's a lot of. It takes a lot of bandwidth to make that happen.
But the reason I bring it up is because someone on Twitter was talking about I can't wait for when they upgrade the Switch. They're going to have a docking station that's going to be able to output 4K. I'm like,
nope.
Are you out of your fucking
mind?
no,
it will video. Because that doesn't require, all that requires is the bandwidth of the internet connection at that point.
Exactly, man.
Video games?
Get that, but he's talking about upscaling the gameplay to that much. I'm like, dude.
Nah, there'll be 2D games.
Even half the PlayStation games came to 1080p 60. How can you expect 4K?
You could play the Symphony of the Night remake that hasn't been announced yet for Nintendo Switch in 4K. You could do that. That's about it.
You're a smart ass.
But I'm just being real, dude.
Symphony
Like
of the Night is overrated.
you're talking about 2160p. That's a lot of bandwidth. 8 billion pixels.
Let me put it this way: to hell with your 4K. I'm getting Project Cars too, so I have my 12K.
I know that's what you're gonna say. I know that's what you're gonna say.
Yeah, I'm a bastard.
Hey, no, you know what, Ray Fox, you're right. Ray Fox, you're right. It's going to have 12K windshields.
No. And here's what these dudes said. They're like, yeah, we know there's no 12K monitors, but if you put 3 4K monitors side by side, you'll be able to. I'm like, what type of bullshit is this?
They chasing the dragon.
What is it, Darius now?
I just, to me, the whole 4K and spec shit has just completely demolished gaming because you got people wanting 4K. Like, do you realize that even the networks that offer HD typically is 720p?
Yep.
Yeah,
it's too expensive.
Because it's 1080p not interlaced, but it's only half a frame per. So it's interlaced but digitally, so it's not really interlaced. You're getting half the amount of data per frame.
Yeah.
It's encapsulated.
And then their rebuttal is, well, you know, some streaming services like Netflix offer 4K. You got 10 fucking movies in 4K, maybe. So you mean to tell me you're gonna upgrade all your equipment, your monitor, your television, your console, your HDMI cord, all that shit, just to get the benefit of
watching
10, 20 movies?
For about 2 years, Blu-ray speed was too slow. The bandwidth was too slow from the disc to the player in the player's processor to even read that type of bandwidth.
That's why you had to install the game on the PS3 to get it to run properly.
So,
but this is what they want. But they're giving Nintendo a hard time and saying, well, I like I said, this person even said, I'm just gonna wait to release an upgraded dock. You keep waiting for that shit. They even said that everything is in the tablet. Everything's in the tablet.
They did have the same people that leaked the original specs back in May of 2016. In that same leak, they were talking about a supplemental computing device. They didn't say when it was going to happen. They just said that it was there, and that it wasn't being manufactured at that point in time. So I think it's on the table, sort of like VR is on the table, but
really, I thought the supplementing computer device was like one of the first patents that came out for it.
Well, it might have been a patent, but you know how that goes. Like they could vitality sensor that shit. And
it was like the patent, much like the HMD. No, Head Mount HM. Patent.
And that's not happening.
Potential VR, which isn't happening because VR has to be profitable first.
Well, I would rather instead of everyone, oh man, we need better specs. Why don't you friggin' optimize your code for what you got? Because they can't look. Why don't you crack that case first, then worry about other shit?
And you know what?
Here's the other thing too.
Johnson said this. Even the older consoles from the 6th gen weren't pushed to their maximums.
Nope.
They weren't. No one ever took complete advantage of the hardware where it pushed the system to its limits.
The only
6th generation wasn't maximized, to be honest with you.
The only console gen where I could say the consoles were really maximized was 3rd gen with like the NES, the Master System. Like those were really pushed.
I don't know. N64 came kind of close. That thing was playing FMV.
But
that was refreshing.
But Red, Super Nintendo and Star Fox with the Super FX.
Yeah, that wasn't the system itself. That was the FX chip. But let me put it this way: there was things that they said were impossible on an 8-bit system that the NES towards the end of its life cycle, especially if you play Kirby's Adventure.
Ninja Gaiden 3 is pretty good too.
Like there was things they were doing, and as a matter of fact, I played an unreleased ROM where they were doing like parallax scrolling in that thing, or a really damn good effect of parallax scrolling.
It was in Ninja Gaiden 3.
They had speed that was like they had a game where they had a character who was moving fast, not as fast as Sonic, but on an NES, those types of speeds with very little slowdown. I'm like, damn. So I mean, if you want to, I mean. Look, here's all I want. Programmers, developers, publishers, please pay your studios to fucking optimize the code please, because these half-ass 1.5 consoles, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm getting a Switch. I'm sticking with my gaming PC. Fuck both these other companies. The hell with them.
I'm curious what Sony's going to do now with all the Switch type. Are they going to be reactionary again and release a PS4 Pro?
No, man. They're gonna take those Vitas sitting in warehouses. They're gonna be like, you can do second screen gameplay.
No, I have a response, and it is beautiful. Okay, I don't know if anyone listens to Game Scoop, IGN's podcast, but they
unfortunately, yes.
They had someone write in. Tell me if you've watched this episode. They had someone write in and said, I have a great idea for Sony's next handheld system. And he's like, I like the idea of playing my Vita games with on my PS4 and whatnot, and like that whole connection that they have, kind of, sort of, not really. I don't really understand the details, but how you can connect the Vita on the PS4 and use the Vita as a controller somehow, I don't know. And he's like, but the Vita doesn't have extra triggers, right? It's missing like an R2 and an L2, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just has like the bumpers, like the original 3DS, right? Okay,
yeah.
And like he's like, what if they released a Vita that has the extra buttons? It is Bluetooth compatible with your PS4, and it can play every game on your PS4 on your Vita, and you can take it with you. And the guys read it, and they're like, and he's like, would you guys fund this? And they're like, we don't want a PlayStation Switch.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a Wii U the way that they're talking about it.
It sounds like a Wii U.
It sounds like a Wii U, and they're like, sorry, whatever his name was. Like, we do not want to fund the PlayStation Switch.
Yeah, that's
but I can totally see Sony doing that though. They would so do that if.
They already tried when the Wii U came out. They're like, well, you could use the Vita, and Microsoft is like, buy a Surface tablet, and we can.
Yeah.
They all saw it. They were like, another Wii platform. It could be big again. It could be 100 million again. We gotta get that check. So they had that to the side waiting.
Yeah.
This to me overall, the spec shit, the 4K. Like I said, these people, they don't know shit. They don't do shit. And even the ones that claim, I got a PC. I played this game. I played Battlefield at 4K. Dude, that shit was not made in 4K.
Nope.
You guys do not understand what the word native means.
Native means all tools, assets, textures, the environment, the skybox, the polygons, everything is rendered to a native resolution of 2160p.
And here's the thing. If you think games now with their 60, 70, 80 gigs with everything included installations are bad, if they go to 4K, if you have a 500 gig hard drive, 300 of that will be fucking the game.
They're like, oh, well, this is for. Hold on. Let me get this straight. So everything on screen is 8 million pixels per frame. I'm sorry, 8.5 million pixels per frame. Are they? Oh, well, we're interleaving per frame, so we got 2 million and 2 million and a half here, but then that's not 4K. 8.6 million per frame every single time. That's 4K. Otherwise, you're 2160i, and we're done with interlace. What's the point of being digital if you're interlacing shit?
And like I said, if you feel that something's weak and you're a spec core, okay, let's say the Switch is weak. What I expect you to do is crack that bitch open on day one. I want you to go to the store or wherever you go and buy your own GPU, and I want you to take theirs out, install your own, and put a game in there, and I want you to also up-res the game to the resolution you prefer. I want you to do all this shit since it's too weak to you, and you want 4K, you want 1080p, 60 frames per second, you think their GPU is too weak, then put your own shit in there. Let's see how it works.
I mean, that's what people are doing now.
Put that bitch on.
That's what they're doing now with these emulators, going through all this trouble, breaking fucking computers, coming up with keep downloading keys for every single game, for every single territory to get Wii U games to work, only for them to half work, then break, and then blink and show black screens, or not be compatible with the controller for this frame, but it is compatible the next frame. But
see, they don't talk about doing this. All they say is, and this is what they stop. They just say, oh, it's too weak. Like next gen 720, Zaire, we all know this dude. His trademark comment towards Nintendo is always, "It's dog shit." That's all he says. It's dog shit.
And he
Okay,
will never say why. He sent
yeah,
one dude to
they
debate
don't know
me. He
why.
saw what I did, and he didn't want to talk to me anymore.
And I don't see why people even entertain this. It's like, okay, you people that think Nintendo is chase power, and that's not what they typically do. Well, the SNES is the most powerful. No, the Neo Geo
Nope.
was. And we know how this shit sold. It didn't. It was great. It was a great system. Basically, put an arcade cabinet in your
If
palm.
you liked fighting games and some like direct non-fighting game arcade ports, it was great. But the variety of games on the Neo Geo made it not really the best. Like the games were gorgeous, but if you wanted variety, if you wanted an RPG, if you wanted a sports game, if you wanted a puzzle game, if you wanted anything except Samurai Showdown or World Heroes or occasionally maybe Magician's Quest or
Magician
something like that.
Lord.
Yeah, Magician Lord. Like, I mean, the same thing with the TurboGrafx 16. That was a great system, but if you wanted anything like except for shooters and maybe an occasionally weird beat 'em up and maybe one or two weird RPGs, yeah, bonk. But you could get a bonk on the SNES. So it was like,
yeah.
I mean, look, listen.
They had Castlevania for that piece though. That shit was nasty too. That was
that's
a
like
good
the
ass
best version of Rondo of Blood. But
Yeah.
I mean, my point is this: like, the power. Look, Nintendo makes their systems for like first and foremost, they're like, okay, there's something we want to do. The technology isn't quite there for us to do it, so we need to go to our next generation of hardware. That's the way they think. Whereas everyone else is like, oh shit, we need to make these dumbasses who believe marketing lines think they're getting a better console. We'll tell them it's more powerful, even though like we barely got a handle on anything this gen. We'll tell them it's next gen.
I think I'm gonna pull a Dr. Trey. Right. This is what I'm gonna do. That video he made with moving goalposts. I'm gonna do that same thing, regurgitating over and over Reggie's speech with Pro Jarrett, where he says, "Well, we could just take the most expensive graphics card and we could just take the most expensive graphics card. We could just take the most expensive graphics card and just repeat that over and over again because people didn't get it." He said that pretty clear and blatantly, like, we could do that, we choose not to.
Well, I mean, they could do that, but first of all, I mean, that would break into their bottom line because the more expensive your specs are, the more expensive the hardware has to be, the bigger it's going to hurt your wallet. Go ask Sony how that worked out for them last gen. Go ask Microsoft how that works out for them now.
Red Fox, what is the one thing that people say? Nintendo is out of touch and they're not with the times. If Reggie said that, that means he is in fucking touch. He knows what the fuck you're saying.
Exactly. I mean, they know. I mean, look, listen, okay? Right now, the Switch is $300. Okay, that's just everything base $300. No games, $300. For what it's doing, comparatively speaking, if you wanted something that was doing the same thing that's not from Nintendo, you'd be paying $350, maybe $400. So, and the only difference
for
is that
just a handheld, if you look at the Vita.
Well, I mean, that, and I mean, they have something comparable to it. It's kind of like the NVIDIA Shield, but not quite. And the only difference is that you have an open OS instead of the closed-off system that Nintendo's using. So, I mean, you're paying $50 to $100 more so that you can do Kindle on the shit. What? I mean, people need to calm down. Okay, calm down. And if someone else says, I don't think the specs are whatever, blah 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 blah, I don't think they're strong enough, tell them to show you proof.
And so why do they pick and choose specs too? Like the same dude I was talking about, like the online features or whatever. He started to say that, you know, Nintendo had weaker networking, and then I mentioned to him that Nintendo has actually had stronger wireless networking in all their consoles, starting with Wii so far. And he said that isn't true because the Wii had 802.11g and the Wii had 802.11n. He didn't read into the Wii's though and see exactly what they were doing within those specifications, because those specifications have a range of different performance data that you can have within that spec, right? So he didn't look and see that the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 were limited to 31 megabits per second, while the Wii had a maximum limit of 108 due to the model of the type of the type of wireless that it had. And the Wii U's Broadcom module goes up to 200 megabits per second. So consistently, the wireless performance on those two platforms exceeds even the wireless on the PS4 and the Xbox One.
And, you know,
Nobody wants to talk about that shit though. But you want to talk about how much better other specs are. You want to ignore that Bluetooth was a standard that was ratified in 2000, and the Xbox One still doesn't have it.
You know what?
But Nintendo isn't with the times. What the fuck? Quit picking and choosing.
He mentioned this shit in this video too. He's had like a whole bunch of issues like downloading games on his PS4. He mentioned a few times. He says, you know, it's funny that the PS4 has they put the same damn wireless card in that they had the PS3. He said the shit's slow as hell. He said it's funny. He said I never had this issue with my Xbox. He said, but the PS4 is slow as shit when it comes to downloading games wirelessly. It's slow as hell. I think it tops out at like 30 megs or something like that. Mm-hmm. He said it's terrible.
Now, granted, they do have gigabit Ethernet. I will make that concession. The gigabit Ethernet is way faster than that LAN adapter shit that the Wii and the Wii U have. So it's 10 times faster than that. That's my only concession.
Like I'm hardwired.
Yeah, but that means you must have your Xbox One or your PlayStation 4 somewhere near an Ethernet jack switch or wireless router or a wireless bridge, even though nobody makes wireless bridges anymore. So that's severely limiting, and nobody wants to drag cables across the table or across the living room or wherever you game at. So that limits your networking capability and therefore the online functionality of that platform.
I just find it funny how these people are like, oh man, the Switch is going to have weak online. I'm like, the system is not even out yet. What makes people just automatically assume, oh, it's going to have weak internet?
They didn't even know if the Wii U had weak online because they never played it.
Let me put it this way, okay? I don't really give a shit about the online as long as it's stable, and I don't have to pay $50 to $60 a year for it. And unlike PSN, the shit seems to get hacked every 2 or 3 weeks. You know, I'm okay with it. Now, I mean, like, people listen, okay, online is cool. Yes, it's awesome. It's cool. We all love it. Not everyone can have people right in their come into their house arcade style or back in the day where you had couch co-op. But really, I mean, this thing's giving you the best of both worlds because it's got couch co-op capabilities. It's also got the ability for local area network play, both wireless and wired. I mean, this thing is freaking awesome. Plus, it has online.
Here's the other thing it has too. It can mix LAN play and internet together. So 4 to 8 people could be a local LAN here playing against another local LAN across the world.
Yes, it has that too. I mean, but you know,
no other console can do that right now.
They won't talk about that. That's not. Don't mention that. No, don't talk about that.
That's online connectivity. And that's definitely with the times because that should be happening.
But only, as far as I know, only one company's doing it with their console. Wah wah.
And I just have to say, I don't know if I have ever heard this much hate when basically all your wishes have been fulfilled.
Because there's so much love being shown. That's why.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I made a video about this, about my experience at Best Buy a few days ago, where my wife and I went there. I was trying to see if they had a Pro Controller for for reserve because I don't reserve online because typically they can cancel this shit because they always over reserve shit. But they employee overheard me trying to get it or whatever, and I'm thinking like it's gonna be a nice little gaming conversation. It's rare to find those, but yeah. This dude gave me GameStop levels of bullshit information. He said, yeah, they're going to manufacture 100,000 of those, right?
Yeah, I heard about that.
And then I'm like, hold on. President of the company, so I'm thinking, he guaranteed $2 million. it from? Then the dude said, yeah, they did it because they know it's not going to sell, and it's going to be $199 before the year is over with.
Really, the shit.
Ken, you too nice, because I would have said, where'd you hear that from? Because I heard a completely different thing from the person that runs the company. So where'd you hear that?
No, but see, at that point,
And
my
the
mom
first
was
thing
like,
They actually
you got that
updated.
kind of information. If you're trying to tell me that kind of bullshit, to me, the dude was saying bullshit even he didn't truly believe, but he wanted me to believe. So my wife and I was just sitting there quiet, like, okay, yeah, you're right. But even my wife was like, dude, really? Like, really?
See, here's the
the 2 million are gone.
I wouldn't have gave him the satisfaction.
They upped their production because of how well
by another million because the pre-orders. But here's the problem.
That's impossible.
It's out. The pre-order exceeded the PS4 pre-orders.
He didn't like that, did he?
Yeah, here's the problem. It's become profitable to talk. It's become profitable to talk shit about what they're going to do. Shadow
since 2012.
Shadow. Well, before then, Shadow shared a thing where he's like, no matter what they do, they can't. Or no, it wasn't Shadow. It was Active Gamer Life. But I mean, I've said this in numerous podcasts. Nintendo can't win. No matter what they do, people are gonna be like, "Oh, these people don't know what they're doing." When they got into the console industry back in the '80s, there were people like, "Man, I bet they're gonna fail." People tired of consoles. And then when the Sega Genesis came out and they were gonna launch the Super Nintendo, I don't know if the Super Nintendo can do anything. Sega's holding it tight. And then the Super Nintendo came out and they basically dropped bomb after bomb after bomb and wound up curb stomping the Genesis in the US. And then they keep on surviving. The N64 didn't sell as well as the NES or the Super Nintendo, but they made fucking money off the thing. Same thing with the GameCube. Same thing with the Wii. Oh shit, the Wii curb stomped everybody. And then the Wii U came out. And everyone's like, "Oh, the Wii U was a failure. They made more money on it all than Xbox or Sony."
And you know what's funny though? Like everyone with the Wii U was like, "Oh man, it needs more third-party support." Switch is like it's having that right now. It needs
more customer support is what it needs.
It needs more paid online. People say, "Oh, we need paid online." People complain about that.
No. People said we want better online. We don't mind paying for it. Then they come out and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna have a paid online service." No, I'm like,
and Red Knight was the only person that ate crow about that. Red Knight was the only person where he didn't eat crow. He was the only person like, I asked for this because this is what I wanted because he was doing the whole the We Speak thing or whatever, right, for Splatoon. So it's there. He's like, I'm gonna pay for it because I want it. Everybody else is bitching.
And I got even better. I remember when Zelda Breath of the Wild was like 2015, 2016. People was like, "Oh man, wouldn't it be awesome if Zelda got the same treatment as Mario Kart, have DLC?" Now it's got DLC. Now it's like, "Oh no!"
And that's that.
Look at it. Look
at
the
bullshit he mentioned.
Look at it this way. You have the problem I think people are having is they announced the DLC before the game came out. Please let's
like everybody, every other publisher.
Like, yeah, I was gonna say I was listening to the podcast before I came on, and one of the guys was like, well, I'm gonna have to poke a jab at everyone right now, but like everyone's saying Nintendo needs to be like the other companies. Well, they're being like the other companies, and people are still
don't complain.
I mean, but here's where I disagree with that because like, although I can understand how some people say, well, you shouldn't have announced it before the game came out, and I can sort of agree with that because they're already even though the reaction to it. Even though the reaction to it is overwhelmingly positive, you still have those naysayers trying to push a negative narrative. So I get it. So to me, they should have waited a little bit after, but Nintendo, for the most part, they just upfront about shit. But I will say this.
Hey,
I will say this.
At least they told you what you're getting. Maybe not all the details, because you can't say, "Oh, we're going to do story DLC."
They gave you.
Let's add to the story because it's going to be different than the story we did.
I mean, they gave people a general.
Have you forgot about the first one?
But actually, no. When you had this podcast up for the other day, I went and I did a little bit of research just to see if I could find some archive news things on like the big controversial season passes that happened in the past few years. So like Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, Arkham City, or Arkham Knight, and then Witcher and Fallout. And I wanted to see what the articles were when they just announced price and that it was a season pass and like what they announced for it. And so I pulled up the big three, which was of varying different scales. We got our Arkham Knight, which was a third in a series of well-made games that everyone was looking forward to. Big single-player game, no multiplayer whatsoever. And then I pulled up Star Wars Battlefront, big game everyone's waiting for, online only. And then The Witcher 3, big game, DLC structured, was very, very different than everything else. So I'll go through and I'll share each one individually and just put everything in perspective for people who don't really like to remember stuff and like to live in the here and now.
Yeah, that's
and don't like to compare Nintendo. But here, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was about to say it's funny though because people, oh my god, that means they're taking content out of the game because it's DLC. I'm like, Breath of the Wild is basically done. It's been done for a while now. This is just a bonus right here. It's not like Final Fantasy 15.
But not even that. But Watch Dogs, they actually talked about the DLC before they even gave us a fucking release date of the game.
They did that with Evolve too. It was like Game Informer. They talked about.
I was going to mention Evolve.
No, the Season Pass came out a day before they told about the Season Pass, and then the Game Informer issue came out where they got the exclusive little play first, and they got to write their article.
No, but with
Evolve's
Watch Dogs, I believe they actually did promote and talk about the DLC before they even had an actual release date for the game. And I'm sitting here like, well, hold on, how are you talking about DLC? You ain't even finished the damn game and released it yet. Like, this was 6 months prior to this release.
So,
but yet, Breath of the Wild, 3 and 4, it's an issue.
But anyway, looking back, sorry.
Go
ahead. What were those games?
Well, here's Arkham Knight. This is from Cinema Blend. I couldn't find the IGN one, but they said coming in at $39.99 for the season pass. Arkham Knight offers one of the most expensive season pass packages we've seen to date, which is just $20 cheaper than the actual game itself. And here's Warner Brothers quote they had was the Batman Arkham Knight season pass will deliver regular new content for 6 months post-launch, including new story missions, additional supervillains, skins, and challenge maps. And oh god, that game came with like no challenge maps. Like it's awful. And I love challenge maps in the Arkham games. So that's all they gave you. It was $40 story stuff, which is kind of meh. I played some of it, like the pre-order stuff, and they're like 30 minutes long. And like skins and maps. And we didn't know what the skins were, and we didn't know what the challenge maps were. Star Wars Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront comes out later in the year. It's revealed. Star Wars Battlefront $50 season pass announced. So the season pass gets from 40 to 50. That's 1/3 the price of a remote-controlled BB-8. The article starts. Let's see. The season pass will include 4 expansion packs, early access to the expansions by 2 whole weeks, an exclusive shoot first emote, which I still have no idea what that is, and promise of more details in the coming weeks. So, even less info was given.
Did you buy the season pass to get the promise?
Probably. Now you can go into like any GameStop or store and get the special big edition for like $20.
What about Destiny?
I didn't look up Destiny because I forget Destiny exists.
I got a better example. Why does a fighting game have 2 season passes?
Killer Instinct good though.
Because Killer Instinct tried it and Capcom thought they could charge and get away with 2 season passes.
And it's $30. And it's $30 each plus each season pass.
So that's $60.
But Killer Instinct was free.
So that's a full price game. You're paying for a full price game twice.
Well, to take a quote from Iwata, Killer Instinct was free to start. If you wanted all the bennies, you had to pay for it.
Yeah. So I'll tell you right now, I'm the sucker. I paid $120 total from this point, from the beginning to now, about $120.
And then I have one more game that's well known for its DLC up, which I think Breath of the Wild is going to take more after this game, hopefully. And the details about this game's DLC offering is already out because it already had some of it out for free. And this is just a verification on the price. Like The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt's impressive DLC offering, but now we know just how much that extra content is going to cost. The 2 huge expansions, Hearts of Stone and Blood of Wine, will be packaged together in 1 season pass for $24.99.
Okay, now I will mention this though.
So
All right.
like,
Go ahead.
it's just like it. Season pass and DLC on its core isn't a bad thing. I don't think it can. Just like Pokemon at their core aren't a bad thing. It's just the people who use them are bad. Much like the publishers who try to sell season passes and DLC just do it so wrong.
Well, here's the other thing.
So wrong.
But this isn't unprecedented though. How much money did Nintendo make off of us with Mario Kart 8 and Smash Brothers just now though?
A lot.
Now,
and they announced the DLC before Mario Kart 8 came out.
Now wait a second. Wait a second.
Yeah. Well, the first one they did.
There's one thing I have to say.
The first one they did, the Animal Crossing one was they didn't show.
There is one thing.
They announced that the game was released. They just announced that hey, we're going to do some DLC for this game. It's going to come in 2 packs. First pack is going to have Link and these parts. You can buy them both separately, or you can buy them too for a reduced price of $14.99. If you do that now, we'll give you colors for both Shy Guy and Yoshi.
There is one thing I have to say. More often than not, Nintendo has been pretty good about their DLC. When they've announced it, it wasn't a big FU or anything like that. The exception to that rule is Smash Brothers DLC, which I'm sorry, that is bullshit. And I know some people have been trying to say, well, that was Sakurai, that was, Nintendo did this. I'm gonna tell you whose fault that bullshit ass DLC is. Namco Bandai. And I'll tell you why. Because if you look at that pricing scheme, it seems like it makes no fucking sense. But if you go to Steam or PSN and look at the DLC, the Namco Bandai DLC for their Tales games, you'll see, wait a second, this is familiar because that's Namco Bandai's signature. They give you the base game and then they lock all this little extra Benny shit behind these ridiculous prices.
Okay, they did announce DLC before the game came out, but it wasn't for the DLC packs. It was the free DLC that gave you the amiibo support and the other tracks and 200cc. They just didn't. It didn't come out until almost a year later though, because they said it was going to take additional time. But they said that before the game came out, but they didn't. And they talked about the Mercedes Benz, but they ended up being free.
Yeah, that was it. It was the Mercedes thing, which was like free.
But
because they were doing that.
The thing is that
in Japan.
But the thing is that generally speaking, I hate to say this, but generally speaking, Nintendo has kind of not been too aggressive with their DLC practices. They've had it. No. New Super Mario Brothers 2 had DLC. You get new tracks and shit like that. But they haven't been too egregious with their DLC. And
plus, it's not like every game they publish or make has DLC.
Yeah. No. Only certain.
That's another big thing.
Only certain games where it would kind of make sense for you to have DLC.
And it doesn't cripple the game either, though. There are plenty of people that don't have Mewtwo and all those other characters or whatever for Smash, and that's perfectly fine because you can still play the game without them.
Yep.
Just great. So.
And for Smash Bros, a lot of times you get a character in the stage together and it just be like $1 extra more compared to buying them separate.
Yeah. I think it's great too because it's still its own internal advertising. Because you play the game right, you still get matched up with people that have their DLC. So you see it and you're like, "Ooh, this stage! I gotta get this stage."
Yep.
And it's still best.
A hypothetical question that we may never get an answer to, but with everyone talking about the DLC expansion pass and just the timing of it, where did the idea or who had the go ahead to say we should release this information now? Do you think it was the development team and Aonuma in them? Do you think it was NCL and Kimishima, or do you think it was some marketing team at NCL or NOA or NOE?
I think it was Nintendo proper because it probably was between either the marketing team Japan or NCL proper or a combination of the two because they see how everybody's reacting to it.
Or was it
I think it was more keeping Nintendo Switch and Zelda Buzz going until March 3rd. So they're just give them something.
Yeah, and plus they wanted to. Look, if you're gonna screw someone over, at least let them know that you're screwing them over. Don't be like Sony and do the same stuff Microsoft was trying to do with the Xbox One initially, and then don't say nothing and screw somebody over. That's not cool. Okay, you need to let someone know when you're trying to take advantage of them, so that they at least can be in the right frame of mind. So, I mean, like, if you're one of those people who falls on the negative side of this DLC, it's good to know so that you can steel your mind against it, and you know, I'm not going to buy it. Or if you're someone like me who's like, play all the Legend of Zelda games, I don't like the fact that after you beat them and do everything, there's nothing to really do. This gives me some.
Yeah.
I mean, that's most of them. I think no, all of them. Like, unless you do a second quest or something, but even then, once you do that, you just, okay, I saved the world, I beat the boss, I've maxed out all my stuff, I've upgraded everything that can be upgraded, played all the mini games, yay! I mean, finally, they're doing something that, I mean, I've kind of wanted. I remember I was on a podcast with Double M06. Alpha Disciple, he said, look, I said, I would not mind getting some good post-game content for a Legend of Zelda game, and I wouldn't mind paying for it, because, I mean, you sink 80, 100, 120 hours into a Legend of Zelda game, and by that point, you've got your money, because it's a $60 game. That's basically, I mean, you basically put 50 cents per hour if you spend 120 hours in that damn thing. I mean, you can afford another 20 to get some extra shit on top of that. I mean,
well, here's the other thing too. I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but the game itself proper, you can still pre-order Breath of the Wild in a couple of retailers, and you can still pre-order the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild from a couple of retailers as well. So maybe they're looking at that and they're like, man, this regular edition ain't looking too good. The special and the whatever, they immediately sold out. So I guess they're trying to gauge more interest to get all those pre-orders sold out too.
Man, and also Red, you talking about like Zelda having DLC and whatnot. Like, this is nothing new, because before Mario Galaxy 2 came out, they was mentioning expanding the original Mario Galaxy with an expansion called Mario Galaxy More, but then they had so many ideas, they made a brand new retail game.
Yeah, but I mean, like, okay, if and I'll tell you the truth, if Smash Brothers 4 if Nintendo did a re-release of Smash Brothers 4 and they said, look, this shitty single player that's kind of crappy, you give us $20, we'll give you a subspace emissary type thing, I'd totally buy that shit. I really would, because I hate the single player in Smash Brothers 4. It's garbage.
But at that point, they could probably just charge you $20 more and add some more stuff to it and sell it as another game for Switch. You're really at this point.
Well, I'd keep it real. I would totally do that.
But why can't these people just go by history? Let's just keep it brief. Okay, hey Jen, has Nintendo released any completely bullshit DLC? And I mean completely. You know it's not worth it. Completely useless. Has it happened yet?
Some of those skins for Smash, but
yeah, but like I said, that was
you're asking for it though.
No, that was Namco Bandai. That wasn't Nintendo property.
Yeah. But I mean, even then though, it wasn't anything that broke the game. It's like if you're a fan of the game, you're gonna buy all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm just. It was just how they did it, and like, cause like here's the thing. People are bitching now. Oh, season pass. Look, if they had offered a $30 season pass or $40 season pass for Smash Brothers with all, because if you tally up that fucking, if you tally up that fucking DLC, it's like $74. It's like $74 to $77. I would rather pay $30 and just have the shit, just download it whenever it comes available.
But you know what though?
I'm not paying.
We bought those characters. We bought those characters a la carte and loved it. We took every bit of it.
Well,
because it was worth it.
I bought almost all of them except for Cloud Strife because fuck that guy. So the rest of look. They look. Namco Bandai screwed me and screwed me bad. Okay, and that's why I'm still mad about that. I'm like, fuck Namco Bandai.
To me, the only bad DLC that they had, and it's not really bad. It was completely optional, but we've all fell to it. We've fallen for it. The goddamn amiibo.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, the biggest DLC known to man.
But that's more like a double thing because it's a collector's item and it works for not just one game. In some cases, it works for many games. But it's like
and it's not trapped in ones and zeros. It's something you can hold in your hand.
Yep.
Exactly.
I also like how amiibos can actually use the same amiibos that we collected from 2014 on the Switch now. So you don't have to worry about rebuying them because the data's on the Wii U.
Exactly. And like I say, if you go by Nintendo's history with the Wii U, their DLC practices are the best, in my opinion, out of everyone's offering. I don't give a shit. Mario Kart 8 alone was proof of that.
Yeah. Yeah, Mario Kart 8
$12
was.
for half a game, you cannot beat that. I'm sorry.
Yep.
That's not being topped.
And that was a really good season pass. So people in Mario Kart 8 that is the biggest game on the Wii U. That was their biggest game on the Wii U. It's sold the most.
Almost 9 million copies.
So basically, their biggest game, they did a very fair and equitable season pass. So why the fuck on their newest biggest game that's really going to push their new system, why the fuck would they screw you over with that season pass? That doesn't make any sense. Why
so
would
hold on. Let's equate them to what happens with Ubisoft, Activision, EA, and to some extent Microsoft season passes. It would be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for $60, $80 if you want the special collector's edition that comes with a printout of a racing wheel. You can only race online. You only have the first core 8 racers or whatever from Super Mario Kart SNES. If you want any additional characters, you have to buy those a la carte or subscribe to the season pass.
And you only and also they give you off-road wheels.
Yep. No local multiplayer. Only online. That's it for the most part. And if you want to do GP, you have to do it online multiplayer with one other person. And if you add another person to that, or you want to play with somebody else that isn't on your friends list, you gotta subscribe.
Oh, and also while you drive, you may see your caricature disappear from the vehicle or the wheels disappear due to buggy code.
Oh yeah. Also, Mario Kart DS type glitches. Those will happen frequently.
Oh.
And it won't be intentional because somebody's breaking the game. The game will be breaking itself. Yep.
But I mean, these are the things that people bitch about. And like I said, to me, the DLC. Don't get me wrong. Part of me does agree that the timing couldn't have been a bit better. But the timing to me wasn't terrible. No. It ain't like they told us about Breath of the Wild DLC before they gave us the reveal trailer back in October.
Here's the other thing too, though. If there was ever a game where it would be okay to announce DLC for, it's got to be the most anticipated game for the last 3 years. It has to be. It's got to be. This game is going to be obviously what they set out for it to be. And the very first Zelda game that happened on NES, but it's in 3D. You can go anywhere you want to go, do whatever you want to do in any order, and get owned. And since that's there now, and that's basically recreating dreams of 1986 for so many older people. I'm telling my age here, but since you're able to go do that, and it's recreating all of that, and there's so much content that's going to be in this game based on just little snippets of what we see, how they're trying to walk you through the game, and they still end up running into little things that get sidetracked instead of showing you what they're supposed to show you. And these are trained Nintendo employees. You know what's going to happen when you get that game. So pretty much, you know that the content that you want is going to be in there. There's going to be a lot of content. I don't know if it's going to be Xenoblade content, but it's not going to be it's not going to be light. It's not going to be like
I have a question.
I would say Ocarina of Time was pretty short compared to other Zelda games lately.
DLC. We've talked about the business side and the ethical side and the internet being crazy side, but let's talk about the video game side and being people who like to play video games. Any speculations on detail of the DLC? Sorry. Such as what they mean by like a new hard mode, or what the story and new dungeon could consist of, and like what kind of expansion are we looking at? Say like a story type of expansion, or like a Witcher 3 type of expansion story.
Someone mentioned this, and I think I agree with them. They say that their new original story. They say that they may be you playing as Zelda.
That's what I say. Could we see Aonuma's Sheik/Zelda stealth game he wants to make?
I don't know if Sheik exists in this in this version, in this timeline.
No, but we don't know a lot about those games, so maybe Zelda becomes Sheik in the side story. We don't know.
Could be. I don't know.
We don't know. We just don't know. There is
I
a lot
don't
of
know, but I mean,
symbolism. So
Enuma has been pretty cool about his game. So like here's the thing. He's earned the benefit of the doubt because he hasn't effed up. Like he hasn't been effing up. So I can't really, I'm not gonna be like, oh man, that bastard.
I don't think when it says new hard mode, I don't think they're locking behind a hard mode, like a hero mode.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be what I have.
New. I think it's going to be more like a master quest kind of thing, or like an Arkham City New Game Plus thing, where like the layout is the same, but like you'll run into like armored enemies like in the first fight you get into, or something like that, or like you'll run into like
look at what I just shared. That's basically what it's going to be.
No more bokoblins, like except for like maybe a few right outside.
But here's the thing.
Like
I've already played this game. I've already played a little bit of this game, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is one of the hardest Zeldas I've ever played, and I've played all of them, even the hard version. Like literally, shit can just run up on you in this game. The enemies are smarter. They sneak up on you. The AI is like they're smart. They think. They have algorithms that. This is what we always wanted with better technology, for them to improve the AI and make the gameplay more dynamic, instead of just, hey man, I can see the snot coming out of that dude's nose and the sweat running down his face.
Coming out of that dude's nose in Wind Waker. Creepy little
thing. That little bastard.
Yeah, just like we can see the fishes swim around in Call of Duty in Super Mario 64.
Oh
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe those guys said that.
But these fish were individually rendered and modeled, and they react to you swimming next to them. And I'm like, yeah, Mario 64. Sure enough, you can.
Yeah, did the same thing earlier too.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's face it, you guys. They weren't talking to us. They were talking to people who don't know any better.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go ahead and end it here. I won't drag it out all night. I felt the need to, after seeing that video chat, I'm like, I'm sick of this shit. And if you're listening, Rich, Zaire, anyone else, Shokios, whoever else you are, OJ, just know if you got some shit to say, I'm not going to respond to you. I don't respond to bullshit. I think you're bullshit. And to be honest, I just don't give a shit about your opinion. I really don't. A response video about it, call me out, go right ahead. But I won't watch it because all of you are blocked, so I won't even see it. And even if I do somehow see it, I'm not going to respond. I'm going to be playing games.
They can make a video about me if they like. It probably won't end well for them.
That is just wrong.
I'm just saying, I mean, guys, I'm just saying, I think most of you are full of shit. I mean, all of you actually. So with that being said, we'll go ahead into here. You guys can give your sign-offs. If you want to challenge somebody to a debate or whatever, go right ahead. Don't mind me, but go ahead, starting off with you, Shadow.
Well, I kind of started it. So I mentioned this on Google Plus. You know who you are. Some of you are probably in the chat right now. So I make little videos and I do shadowcasts and stuff like that. And at the end, or actually in the middle of a lot of the shadowcasts, there's a huge chunk of time that lately has been wasted for anybody that wants to come in and debate, or if they disagree with any of the topics that I discussed. At any point in time, if you wanted to come talk to me about any of that, you have the time to do that instead of constantly replying to me over and over again in comment threads. Get your ass online, let us hear your voice, and say what you got to say. And please, while you're telling me, please have something that you would like to share to back up what you're saying. Otherwise, I don't want to have nothing to do with you. I really don't understand why, as soon as I close the video, those magical people that didn't even want to show up in the fucking chat because they were scared got all kind of comments at the bottom of the video. So if you want to make comments in the bottom of the video, then come on the Shadowcast when I have the Shadowcast and we can chat. I don't care how many people jump on. If y'all all disagree with me, y'all all could jump on at one time. Y'all can all take turns getting that ass whooped. I don't care.
You handing out the ass whoopings. take a number. I'll be right with you.
And I don't care how many subs you have. You can have 1 million. You can be PewDiePie. I don't care. Let's go.
Oh God.
Oh, by the way, PewDiePie is finished.
Yeah, I heard. We won't even go into that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, he messed with Disney, man. He effed up.
Well, go ahead, Red.
This is Mr. Red Fox. I only have one thing to say. Bullshit Busters is back this Saturday, 7 p.m. To 9 Eastern Standard Time. We'll be discussing the Nintendo curse and how everyone who seems to F with them winds up having horrific things happen to them after the fact.
All right. Then Perry.
What up, this Perry fan? This random citizen of the internet. And I actually uploaded a YouTube video. Oh my god. It's not a dead channel. But it's really nothing special. It's just, I just captured some gameplay from Neo on the PS4. Since I have no video editing software, it's just a straight capture of me fighting I think one of the cooler boss fights up until where I am. It reminds me of like old school boss fights where you really have to memorize a pattern and like there's an optional way of hurting it that hurts it even more. And it's an Umibozo, so it's a giant thing of water. And of course, you hit it with fire to make it die. But yeah, you can find it on my channel. Oh my god, I'm saying that. It's PerryFan74. Other than that, nothing really. Oh, I have a poll going on Google Plus about season passes and like where you stand on them. Do you hate them? Have you bought one? Have you bought many? And like for how much and stuff. So I'll probably let that one for a couple more days. We're at 50-50 on I've bought one and I've bought multiple. So
I hate season passes. That Nintendo does. Excuse me as I buy this season pass for Call of Duty.
You can go ahead and give your sign out, Kenoshi.
All right, this is Kanashi Abominito here to say don't mix orange juice with cyanide. That's bad for your health. Adios, everybody. Adios.
All right, and Quan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, man. Go ahead and give you a sign off.
Well, this is Quan Manchu. Got nothing on the table for right now, so I'm gonna get my sign off like I usually do. Whatever's clever.
All right. Now, I'm not sure if you're there, but Andre, he may be a little busy.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, okay. Go ahead and give your sign off and promote your channel. Also, be sure, I think you just wrote something recently, so be sure you hand that out to people.
All right, good stuff. Again, this is Andre with Jewel Archon Gaming. Finishing up this podcast. Definitely had a good time. Check me out at Jewel Archon Gaming. Of course, that's found at jewelgaming.wordpress.com. Got a lot of great things that I'm working on right now. Actually, too many things. I can't get anything out right now, but definitely working on it to make sure that the content is getting out there. A lot of what was discussed this evening is a lot of what's been on my mind here lately anyway. So I definitely want to make sure I get those wrapped up, get them out, so you guys can have them in your hands and give me some feedback. So with that, I'll go ahead and sign off.
All right. And as always, I'm Dr. Feelgood. Be sure you also check out the other people that showed up, like Sprite Remix, and I forget whoever else showed up in here. Oh, yeah, like up in Duo.
Yeah.
And as I always say, keep it gaming, and out there, kiss my ass.